Now let's look at this example. For this example, we are looking at how we can compute the economic ordering quantity, EOQ. We're also looking at how to compute the number of orders, average inventory, and ordering cost. So we've been given Fisk Corporation is trying to improve its inventory control system and has installed an online computer at its retail stores. Fisk anticipates sales of 50,000 units per year, and the ordering cost is $4 per unit, no, per order, sorry, and the carrying cost is $1.60 per unit. And therefore, part A of the question is how to compute the EOQ. Part 2 is how to compute number of orders. Of course, there is part C. Part C is how to compute the average inventory. And part D is how to compute the total cost of ordering and carrying of inventory. So those are the four sections that we need to go ahead and figure out. So of course, once you go through the first part A, you should have no problem working through B or working through C or working through D. And the guidance I would like to give you here, or the best approach to this question, again, is always to have the formula at hand. And then once you write the formula down, you just have to plug in what you've been given based on the question. For example, in part A, we have been asked to compute the EOQ, economic ordering quantity. Now, by formula, we know that EOQ is equal to the square root of 2, sorry, the EOQ is equal to the square root of 2 times sales numbers, or sales units, times O, which is the ordering cost, and you divide this with C, and C is the carrying cost. And therefore, if you have to substitute the information we have based on this question, based on the question, we can go ahead and substitute. So we have 2, we have the sales numbers is 50,000, and we have the ordering cost is $4. So it's 2 times 50 times 4, and you divide this with the carrying cost, which is $1.60, and again you have to find the square root of the everything. So again, just keep in mind, you're not finding the square root of just the numerator, but you're finding the square root of the final product. So simply, if you multiply again 50 and 2 times 50, again that's 100,000, right, times 4, right, this will give you 400,000. So this is the same thing saying you will take 400,000 and you divide this with 1.6. And if you divide 400,000 by 1.6, you find this to be 250,000, and therefore we are looking at the square root of 250,000. And the square root of 250,000 is in the square root of 250,000 comes out to be 500. So this will be 500 units, and therefore our EOQ is 500 units. So every single time we place an order, we are going to order 500 units, right? So this will be our solution to part A. Then of course, with this information, we should be able to move through question B, question C, and so on. For example, if you look at question B, now question B is asking you the number of orders. Now, clearly, if you'll be ordering 500 units for every single time you place an order, you're going to order 500 units. It means then for you to achieve or for you to sell 50,000 units, it means you have to place how many orders? So you'll take 50,000 and divide this with 500, because every single time you'll be ordering 500. It means then in this example you're going to be placing over the entire year, you'll have placed a total of 100 orders. But every single time you order, you'll order 500 units. Make sense? Again, just simple. Again, you can see part A helps you to move to part B. Even part C, part C, you're being asked to determine average inventory by formula. Our average inventory is EOQ, economic ordering quantity. And again, this is the average divided by 2. Again, we found out that our EOQ is 500, and divide this by 2, you find this to be 250 units as our average inventory. And then lastly, to find the total cost of ordering and carrying inventory. In this example, you're going to look at, first of all, is to determine our ordering. Remember, for ordering, how many orders are you going to place? Will be 100 orders you're going to place, but every single time you place an order, you pay $4. So times 4, and therefore just for ordering purposes, you'll have paid $400 just to place those orders, right? And in terms of carrying cost, our carrying cost will be that we have $1.50 per unit. So in terms of the carrying cost, then we are talking about $1.50 for every single item that we have in the inventory. So you're going to look at your average inventory, which is $1.50. So you have 250 is your average inventory, times $1.60, and that will give you how much? If you look at the numbers, so if you take, sorry, if you take $1.50, no, $1.60, sorry, and you multiply this by $1.60 by 250 times 160, so your average inventory is 250, your carrying cost is $1.60. Again, if you do so, you get this to be 400. So therefore, your carrying inventory cost is 400, and your ordering cost is also 400. Okay, again, that's just how you're going to approach the question. But again, the key idea here is you have to make sure you get the correct EOQ. Otherwise, if the EOQ is wrong, then it's going to throw off your numbers for part B, your numbers for part C, and even numbers for part D. Sorry. So you have to make sure that part A is correct before you can even move to part B, part C, and so on and so on.